Roland, I saw you had your hand up, sir.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff Lucas. Thank you for your service and your commitment to the community. Your story of survival, honestly, I didn't know that, is incredible. And you've risen through the ranks and you're clearly successful, and I'm glad you're here. And I thank you and the other officers who are in your department for their service. So that's just sort of number one. Number two, I guess I'm wondering your thoughts about setting performance metrics for your department. The most important thing to me as a county board member is strategic planning, and ensuring that all of our county departments are all working in concert to drive a strategic plan is what really drives me as a supervisor. Like, it's what I hope to bring to the table. And I know a bit earlier we heard a report from Mr. Henkin that talked about the critical importance of outcomes, about how outcomes mattered really more so than anything else, and how that really had to come first because, without strategic clarity, really all businesses, all organizations, all departments, all teams tend to veer off of a strategic path. So I guess my hope is that the sheriff's office can identify and work on a clear set of success metrics. There is a lot of good activity, as you include in your report, that's going on. But to me, as a county board supervisor, I think it's my job to dig in and consider, is all of this activity working? How do we know? What does success look like over the course of a given year? So one example for me recently was I am not handy at all, and it takes me forever to fix anything. And we recently had a leaky faucet in our house, and it took me forever to work on it. I worked on it for hours. So if I was reporting activity to my wife, I could tell her all the different ways that I was trying to fix the faucet, all the tools that I was using, and at the end of the day, what mattered was not really the activity. What matters was, is the leaky faucet fixed or is it still leaking? So you are much better at policing than I am as fixing faucets, but either way, the outcome is really what matters. So to me, a scorecard of performance measures would help all of us on the board and in the community to see if all of these activities and inputs in the report are driving the outcomes that we want. If they're driving that success, we can celebrate. If we're short in some areas, we can talk about ways to shift resources to get you to the desired outcome. But we really have to have goals and benchmarks and performance measures. So I'm curious your thoughts on that. Then the second question I've got, just throw it out there now, is the National Neighborhood Watch Association is a branch of the National Sheriff's Association. And one of the opportunities that I see to make change in the world is having this National Neighborhood Watch Association drive an outreach effort to clarify what suspicious activity is and is not. If our neighborhood watch groups could lead that work and reduce the amount of living while black 911 calls we have in our communities, I think it would be really well received. And I've heard positive comments from some of the municipal police chiefs in our communities to have that Neighborhood Watch Association drive that work. So I'm curious if you'd be supportive of that work as well. And that's my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Roland. Sheriff Lucas, you have the floor in response, sir.
Thank you, Chair and Supervisors, and Supervisor Roland. Thank you for the question. I wanted to discuss further with you your ideas, because you bring a lot of ideas to the board, and they're very helpful. They're very healthy, and I think they could be very beneficial to moving county government forward. So this sheriff and this administration, and if I look up and I point, there's nobody else in the room, but I'm looking around the building, empty room here right now with no pictures on the wall even. But I certainly would look forward to further conversation and dialogue with you and your members on issues.